and the truth. And let me make some revelations, because some of us also have our own intelligence networks.
Okay. Okay.
Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders. One or two who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated network. During this lockdown, their planes were moving up and down as though there was no lockdown. Moving ammunitions, moving logistics, moving money, and distributing them in different parts of the country. They are already in the south, in the rainforest of the south. They are everywhere. They told us that when they finish these rural killings, they will move to phase 2. The phase 2 is they will go into the urban cities, going from house to house, killing prominent people. I can tell you, this is the game plan. By 2022, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria. Don't joke with what I'm saying. I have a PhD from Oxford University. I'm a central banker. We don't talk nonsense. So don't joke with what I'm telling you. I have this from the highest possible authority, higher authorities of some of the commanders of the killers and Boko Haram.
You said northern governors, past or present, Dr. Badaya?
No, current. No, they said one of them is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. One of them.
Is another Afghanistan loading for Nigeria? That is a question of NINAS, looking at all of what had been going on in terms of terrorists that are operating unchallenged, freely across vast territories, but moving steadily towards Abuja. If we looked at the patterns from Afghanistan, between the Taliban that was constantly repenting and being infused into the Afghan army, commanded by people who were sympathetic to the Taliban. Over time, sufficient numbers of them were infused into the Afghan army, and they turned up just on the day of their choice, and the government fled, and they made an announcement that they've taken over the country. Where we are in Nigeria is that we're seeing a similar pattern, that people who are openly sympathetic to the Boko Haram and the Fulani herdsmen, all of those who have been, labeled one thing or the other, including bandits, that the media of Nigeria, became complicit in describing terror as banditry. Gumi became their spokesman. Miyechi became their champion, boasting and taking credit for, advancing their cause. Fulani herdsmen. And the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria, who had been for many years the life grand patron of Miyechi Allah, and who in the past had openly declared that an attack on Boko Haram was an attack on the north. We are putting all of this, piecing the jigsaw together to make the picture of what is coming. You take the map of Nigeria, you begin to see who is where these things are coming from, where they've gotten to, and where it could be heading to. We are at least entitled to interpret, as we can see, that a government that is sympathetic to those who are carrying out the invasion. And why do we say sympathetic? We look back at the alarm raised by General T.Y. Danjuma, I think it was in March 2018, when he alleged that the federal government of Nigeria and its armed forces were in open collusion, in facilitation of the invasion that we were witnessing, sweeping through, vast swaths of land in a southward movement. And so we've come to raise this alarm that it appears we are heading in that direction, that Boko Haram elements are being alleged to have repented, being rehabilitated with public funds, some even sent overseas, but was still being infused into the military of Nigeria. The database of Nigeria is still in the hands of a known sympathizer of that terror network called Isa Pantami, minister in charge of the branch of government that has to document us as citizens of Nigeria. And the other day we saw an attempt in the amendment they were making to, more or less liberalize the registration to be indigent. They are already citizens, as our borders were thrown open for these invaders, Fulani, to flood in their numbers. And we know from what we see that they are being documented as Nigerians, because we were told by the governor, we saw it on TV, I think it was Channel TV, by the governor in Bauchi, that Fulani from everywhere they come belong to Nigeria. And so when you see what has happened already, the numbers that have come in, the documentations to be a Nigerian citizen, the terror that is growing in leaps and bounds with no arrests. They've grown so strong as to be able to take down aircraft. We saw it happen. They've grown so strong as to be able to get into an airport in the numbers. We saw the one in Sokoto, we then saw the one in Kaduna just the other day. They've grown so strong that they could waylay the train, and that's not the first or second time attacks have been carried out on train. Yet nobody, no single person has been arrested. I would be a fool to believe anything but what Danjuma told us, that there is collusion. That fact that nobody has been arrested among those who are doing this thing almost routinely is, for me, is for us at NINAS, proof of complicity at the highest possible levels with people in government. And if we go by previous utterances and current actions, you will then see the picture that is emerging. That it appears that that infusion of these elements into the military of Nigeria is building up to where we could wake up one of these days and they will storm Abuja, and somebody will pretend they've been overwhelmed, and then it will be just a matter of announcement. There are people, they have already sent all their people across the length and breadth of Nigeria. If they make such an announcement and they pull guns everywhere to say we are now in charge, what will those who are the recipients then do? The indigenous nationalities, what are they going to do? The time to act is now. The time to stop the pretense that there is a union of Nigeria that is settled according to that constitution that tie everybody else leg and hand, but put all the guns and all the resources in the hands of these invaders and their sympathizers who are now in control of government 100%, and all the agencies of government that carry arms, whether it's the army or the air force or the DSS or the immigration or the customs, all the agencies, civil what do they call civil defense, even prisons, all the agencies of government, NIA that carry arms, go and check, put them on this map, check the heads. Check who are the heads of those agencies that carry arms. Check who the commanders, the local commanders of those arm-bearing agencies across the length of the land. You will see that they all fall on one side of that map. So all the guns are in the hands of these same people, and there is this influx and growing impunity, brazen impunity of launching attacks and moving steadily in one direction, towards the south from where they come in. And so we begin to take a closer look. Just yesterday or so, we saw something on the internet on the letterhead of the State Security, the Directorate of State Security, alleging that intelligence was available that IPOB, the terrorist organization, is now going to bomb Abuja. Who knows what foundations are being laid? If that DSS does not have intelligence about the invasion of the Kaduna International Airport, if that DSS does not have intelligence about the attack on the train heading to or from Abuja with Kaduna, I don't know whether it's going forth or back, but there has been an attack in which of such a magnitude. If that DSS does not have intelligence about the ongoing onslaught in southern Kaduna and areas in Jos, Plateau State, but it now has intelligence about how IPOB will go to bomb Abuja and Lagos, let us take a closer look whether we are not on the highway to Afghanistan, in which things will be orchestrated and fingers pointed in predetermined directions, whereas those who are doing the thing that we can see are being left to roam. Nobody is challenging them, nobody is arresting them. We are looking, we are seeing, and if anybody is stupid enough to think that people are just going to fold their arms until it comes to, its landing place, we just say, keep doing what you are doing. But the rest of those who will be at the receiving end, this is the time to stand up and be part of this conversation in a manner that can save you from catastrophe, from death, because it will come to your space eventually, no matter where you are, whether you are in Boni or you are in Badagry. It may be in Jos now, it may be in southern Kaduna now, it may be just approaching Abuja just now, but it's going to come to the point where it moves to your space. They already have their advanced teams in all the places. We have a chance to get ahead of them by pulling down the instrument that brings them to our space. That constitution is the reason they come into your space, pretending to be Nigerians. And now, if we do not act quickly enough, they may even come to where they become indigene of your community. INEC will conduct election in which any of them can be made your chairman and councillor. The traditional rulers will also still depend on the 5% that come from council. These people are taking over on a scale that can, be comparable when it comes to its landing with what we saw in Afghanistan. Do we want it to go there? If we don't want it to go there, NINAS has a complete package of answers that requires only your listening and doing the little you are asked to do. The alternative is to keep your ignorance and become the victim of an avoidable calamity. Thank you for listening.